Lindsey, director, co-writer, and producer of Jazz in the Diamond District. My sister Erica actually came up with the story. She's also an actress in the film. She plays Leah. And she had really conceptualized doing a story about kind of like a girl, a woman that we see, you know, going through problems, going through issues, and kind of being responsible for the downfalls that she has and for, you know, the good times and the things that go well. So she really wanted to do a story about a female character. And then from there, she kind of knew she wanted to set it in DC, knew she wanted it to be like set in some degree related to the underground music scene in Go-Go. And she loved it. She came with the title Jazz in the Diamond District. So kind of from her idea of these two sisters and kind of this weird love triangle that they have, we kind of built the script out. The general story really came from her, and then from there we kind of started to break it down into this acts and the scenes and then the dialogue. She wanted it to be almost like a fable, like we kind of dip into the life of this girl and dip right back out. And so the whole Jazz in the Diamond District, not only is it the literal meaning because this character's name is Jazz, but it also implies like just, you know, the music of the district or a story of the district or like a tale of the district. So that's kind of the motivation behind the title. I think we just decided to shoot in DC. I mean, primarily because that's where we're from and that's what we know, but also just because, you know, that's kind of where the story takes place, and all these locations. We wanted to set them in like unique, cool parts of the city that I don't think have really been on film before. So that's like H Street or Howard Hospital or Duke Ellington. So we wanted to kind of use, you know, all the different sides of DC to tell the story. And I mean, DC has so many great locations, so we didn't really have to go outside of there. Well, I mean, what we kind of tried to do was just pay homage to, like, you know, some of the most noted spots in DC. So Ben's is obviously a huge one. Like, everybody goes there. The crowds are building, and even from what they've already been. But, I mean, in addition, it's just a unique spot because U Street is really coming up, and, you know, the nightlife there is booming. So we definitely wanted to bring a focus to U Street and to Ben just because of the history there. In terms of H Street, another area I think that's coming up in DC, and just another place that's like a haven for the arts that I think like a lot of artists are really kind of gravitating towards H Street. So we wanted to make sure that we got that. And then Howard Hospital is like a landmark, so you know, in a major hospital in DC. So for the scenes that took place in the hospital, we thought that would be a great spot. And then Duke Ellington is just connected to the project in so many different ways, but it's also just a beautiful school and a beautiful backdrop kind of for the scenes that we were able to use it for. So it was nice to go back kind of to where we were all in school, but it also was just a beautiful place, a beautiful backdrop for the scenes we used and shot there. So where we were trying to take this project, the whole point is that it's kind of not been done, you know, so we're going into locations and into spaces that, you know, most filmmakers coming to the area are not really tapping into. And so, you know, people were like, it was new to them, and shooting in a space and is a lot, you know. So I think probably one of the biggest cons was just getting over the hump of getting people familiar with the project and familiar with like feature filmmaking and just filmmaking in general. I think the pro, or like one of the biggest pros, was just the actual city itself and like how gorgeous it is just on its own without us even adding anything to it, whether it be lighting or whatever. You know, as a filmmaker, a lot of times you're pre-planning this stuff and you know, everything is planned to a T, but it's a great thing when, even with all the planning, you come and there's new elements being added just naturally that you didn't plan for. We really wanted to keep it mobile and free. We were on location a lot, so there wasn't a lot of pre-planning that we could do like you can do with a set. So we wanted to make sure that we could utilize the spaces freely and kind of show all these different angles. So, I mean, that was one reason why the MKV AR was so convenient for us, because we could be so dynamic with it. But you know, just also in terms of going handheld or whatever we wanted to do, we wanted to make sure that we were showing the locations as much as we could. And that we were kind of, because that's kind of what we wanted to do, is showcase DC. And then, I mean, I think another thing we really tried to do was keep the colors like very vibrant. DC is like a very vibrant city, so you know, the greens, the blues, the purples here and there, whether it was in the clothing that where we were accenting the environment that was already there, or whether it was the environment, you know, that was bright and we were just kind of trying to operate within that space. So, but we definitely wanted to keep it vibrant, you know what I'm saying, gritty, but still let the colors kind of flare out. And I mean, I think we really were able to do that with some of like the greens of like, you know, Rock Creek Park, or, you know, the blues of the club, or all the different locations that we used really had like a rich color palette. Now we definitely wanted like a film look, so we went with the Cine Alta F900, which is has like a really good film quality to it. And you know, a lot of people ask if we shot on 16 or 35 because it gets a very good film look. And our lighting director was awesome as well. But I mean, I just think it's more flexible. It's a more flexible medium, and that's kind of what I wanted since it was my first project. So. Chris McGuire came from the UK. He was a blessing because he brought with him the MKVAR, which is a brand new kind of Steadicam system, brand new in the market at the time when we shot, and it has the ability to do all kinds of crazy things and go 360 degrees in every direction. So. Again, like lending to the flexibility of the production, I was able to go without track and dolly for the majority of the film, and that gave us a lot of flexibility, especially in the club scenes, you know, when we're trying to go and show different instruments and different performers and things like that. And then even down to like in the house, and giving us more range in the different locations and being able to cover more ground. So it, you know, it made lighting it more difficult, I think. But our lighting director and Lindsey too is fabulous. I think they really, you know, got a feel for each other and got a feel for, you know, where the lights can be, where they can't be, and kind of what his space is that he needs to work around, and you know, to utilize that equipment to the best of his ability. But he has a great eye, and I think he was able to do a lot of unique stuff just because we had this new equipment, and it was our primary camera. So as opposed to bringing it in as a support camera, we shot most of our stuff, our lead stuff with that, and then had our backup either handheld or on stick. So it definitely gave it a different look, I think, and one that you know, people from a technical standpoint would be interested in seeing. Observations tell it all when you think you're proud through the... We really were able to find a great group of like creative filmmakers that, whether they had worked on a feature or not, were able to really bring something unique to it. From a creative standpoint. I mean, I spoke of Lindsey, to our lighting director. He actually came from Baltimore, and he was just amazing in terms of like using the locations. I mean, everything we shot on location. So, you know, working with the locations, which is not always the most convenient thing, especially if we're in like a smaller space or a limited space, and just working with what we had. And I mean, we had a number of different people kind of all coming together, whether on the camera side or the lighting side. From the local area, you know, and I think it speaks to the talent here, and you know that there's a great group of people that you can reach out to locally that can help you produce your projects.